Here's of the Storm. Wanted to give you my insights as a gold level player, I guess, for majority of the time. I guess I would identify that way right now. But definitely did want to talk to you about why you should learn Muradin, especially if you're kind of new to the game and trying to figure out some characters to pick up. And I've talked about Uther already. Maybe I'll go back and revamp it at some point. I've already talked about Raynor by itself, but this one's going to be about Muradin. So let's actually take a look here. I want to go in try mode, just so you can take a look. Now, obviously, if you've been playing Here's the Storm, this probably won't apply to you that much, but I'm just kind of showing the basics of this hero and why you should kind of learn him, especially if you're brand new to heroes, or newer, I should say. So Muradin is actually a tank. That's the role that he's currently in. Now, with the Muradin, he's got, I guess, 3 basic abilities in a sense that you want to get used to. Now, he actually can be used for other things outside of just tanking. He actually can do a lot of damage in the right hands. For example, early on, when I was first learning how to play, I think my brother Silver, I don't know if you guys know, but my brother is Silver, and we play on the same team together. He actually did a lot of damage with Muradin, and he can do a role as a bruiser. He can, he can kind of tank. I think the thing is just that his stuns, which is a lot of what comes as being a tank, like whether engaging or defending or peeling is what they call it. Pretty much, it's not as reliable in a sense. It's not going to hit every time. It kind of depends on the skill level of the player, but you have the option to do those things, and I think a lot of that's what kind of categorizes tanks as tanks. We're not going to really talk about specs, just kind of the basics of why he's good to know. But so, for example, his Q, as you can see right here, his Q is a stun, so it's a skill shot. And if you're great at skill shots, awesome. It's going to be more impactful. But eventually, it'll kind of stack. And I'm not sure what the baseline is. That's why I'm not an expert. I'm just talking about basics. I'm dying to Arthas one-on-one here. But if he gets 25 stacks, he gets extra stuff that comes to it. I think it's... let's see. I think he can actually hit 2 targets in a row, I believe is one of them. And then... Does he get an extra cooldown? I'm not sure. I'm looking at it. I'm not even reading it. Anyway. So basically, that's how his stun works. He Qs and he can engage or again peel that way, but it's a skill shot, so it's not as reliable. Also, he has a slow, so he can kind of slow people down in that way. That's the W. He can actually slow people down, which can save your teammates, especially if they're getting a lot of pressure. Things like that. So they hit W, he's kind of slow. And what is it? What's the preset? It's 30%. So it's not amazing, but every little bit will help. Now the other thing is he's got a mobility button. It's called Dwarf Toss. I just call it the jump, but he can engage in. So for example, if I want to jump in on a person, I can use it in that regard. Obviously, he can escape out too. So the reason Muradin is awesome to learn early on is because even he's not the preferred tank right now with the meta, and we may get I'm doing this video on the 6th of May, so who knows how it'll change or if it'll change in the future. I don't want to die to this dude. I don't want to die to the AI. I'm going to go back here, but so basically with his E, he can escape, just like how he did there. Things get a little heated, you don't want to die. So he has great survivability in that way. And you can even spec so he can take more damage. You can spec so he's more of an offensive threat. There's a lot of different things. He's got a lot of versatility. That's kind of why I recommend him for early people early on. His wave clear is okay. There's ways you can spec where it's still a little bit better, but he's not the best wave clear tank. But as tanks go, if you're assigned to do the duty then of tanking, then he's not a bad pickup or to learn for sure. Now he also has a passive for heals. I'm trying to remember. I think all tanks have some sort of healing, but Muradin's is kind of unique in the sense that, and it's a second wind ability. Obviously, you can increase it, spec for it if you want. But it's basically if he's out of combat, he regenerates a lot faster if he hasn't been hit for like 4 seconds, right? So, and that's really nice. So let's see if I can get here. I'll get really low over here, so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna get my health a little bit low, and I'm still on like level 1 talents. I'm level 4, but level 1 talents. All right, I guess Mephirin's healing me. But okay, so I'm just gonna go hide here in the bush. And so if we count to about 4 seconds, then his ticks start increasing, as you notice right now. So like a lot faster, and it's just kind of like sweet. And a lot of those little flashes are from Malfirin's heals, but it heals a lot faster, is what I'm saying. And that's a cool little effect. I'm trying to remember, I don't think, I could be wrong on this. If you see this later on YouTube or something, you can add in the chat because I can't remember. But basically he gets, I think he's the only tank that gets considerable amount of passive healing when he's not in combat, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, so that's kind of nice in that regard. So that's the kind of the main reasons why he's be great to know. Now, let's see, when you get to 10, let's see, I don't really mess around with this too much. Okay, here we go. So he's got a couple ultimates that are nice. We'll talk about that now. I gotta pick some things. Let's do all these things. So his level 10s, his ultimates are pretty nice. His avatar pretty much just gives you a whole bunch of health, so it makes you more tanky, like super, super tanky. If you want to stay in the front line and you're getting bullied a lot or can't take a lot of hits, it's awesome. And also it has kind of like a, what is it called? He's gonna die here. Arthas. What is it called when they... Displacement. Okay, so I'm going to show you the displacement. It's actually Haymaker. A lot of high-level players will mess with people and wreck people with that. And it's basically you can displace people, so you can either push people closer to your enemies and separate them. Great tool. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to sneak up on people with it, but it's great when it lands. Obviously, by doing that, though, he sacrifices a lot of tank ability or just hit points. Because Avatar is pretty sweet. It's like 1481 hit points for 20 seconds. And there's also an ability later if you go Avatar where I think it's Stone Form. If you hit Avatar and then Stone Form, it actually heals for the amount that he's an Avatar, which is nice. And that's just like a little thing. Again, I'm not going to really talk about talents too much. But basically, that's why you should learn him. If you haven't learned him already, he's kind of great. I mean, he's not super tank. He actually does a lot of damage. He can, let's see here. If we were to set the level again, he kind of does have a DPS spec. Let me see. We won't necessarily talk about it, but his level 7, give him the axe, actually does a lot of damage. And it's like every third attack, I think. How does it work? I don't even know how it works. Oh, attacking a hero. That's thunder rooted, okay. So it's kind of like an assassin trait, which is funny. So you can kind of see, well, maybe you can't see. Am I reading this right? Attacking a hero. Okay, there we go. It's critting a little bit. So he can kind of be kind of DPS-y, and I think that's actually a lot of what my brother Silver used to do back in the day. He would just go DPS and just beat on people. I am not that aggressive, unfortunately. I have my play style, but either way, definitely a good character to pick up. He's really cheap too. I think he's one of the cheapest tanks. I'm not sure what he is, but we can probably find out how much he costs here. I think he's like 2,000. He's either 2 or 4. Okay, so he's 4. And I think if we look at the cost for tanks in general, Let's see, she's 10, 10, 10, 10, 4. That's Joe Newberg 4. Diablo 2. Muradin 4. Tyrael ETC 2. Okay, so he's not the cheapest, but he definitely is affordable for sure. But yeah, pick him up. He's good. He's got great mobility. He has the ability to stun and peel in a couple different ways. He can do a lot of damage too, so he's kind of good to put in your roster. But yeah, check him out. Now, if you guys like more videos of this, thumbs up. Leave some comments below. Hit me up in game if you just want to say hi, or you can probably find me on Discord too. But see you guys over there. Take care. Awkward if I can figure out how to turn this off. All right. Take care, guys.